Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. Wow. Terminator, y'all. The Terminator. I told y'all the Indiana Pacers are the Terminator squad. They don't stop coming. They are relentless as they come, man. Game 1 was an instant classic. The Indiana Pacers did not have a single lead in this game until .10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Halliburton hit a mid-range jumper um, on a fantastic defensive player by the name of Keyshawn Wallace. Before that, Nembhard showed us exactly what we know Nembhard can do. Sick in-between dribble, three-point shot made, down the clutch. Obi Toppin had, what, 5 threes, I believe it was. 5 or 8 from the three, 17 points for him. But I'm stunned just like everybody else is. Aaron Naismith was fantastic on the boards, 12 boards, 10 points. He was really clutch down there on the glass. Miles Turner hit some big shots, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 5 of them offensive boards. Tyrese Halliburton, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block. Obi Toppin had the 17. TJ had 9 points off the bench. That was unreal, man. Unreal. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander walked away with 38 points. J-Dub had 17 points, 6 assists. But Chet Holmgren, I don't know where he was at. 2 and 9 from the field, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block. OKC would love to have that back from him. Caruso had a big game. Looked like Caruso was going to be the star there. 11 points, 2 blocks, 3 steals. This game was unreal, man. I think the Pacers were down by as much as like 17 points in the fourth quarter. Came back and won. 15 points actually in the fourth quarter. Came back and won. The Thunder dominated this game, a good portion of the game. But around the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter, it became clear to me that the Pacers were doing that thing they do. And like I said, OKC ain't been dealing with nothing like this. Talk about level of difficulty of the opponents that you've been playing before, leading up to this game. Denver hit OKC in the mouth with a 7-game series, but this Indiana team has a certain mental makeup. We call them the Terminator for a reason. They don't stop coming. It doesn't really matter what the score is. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter the situation. They believe they can get a bucket, and they're going after it. And their defense has gotten a lot better, which is why they're in the finals. They got the stops they needed down the stretch of that fourth quarter, and they out-executed the Oklahoma City Thunder when it mattered most, despite being manhandled for a good portion of this game. I mean, like manhandled. I mean, they had 25 turnovers, did the Pacers. Only 11 points conceded off of those, so they did a good job of getting back, and they're going to have to do that for the rest of the series. But the Thunder only had 7 turnovers and only 4 points conceded off of those and still lost. Why? Because they shot under 40% from the field and shot under 40% from the three. OKC is going to have to execute better scoring the ball, man, and they're going to have to do a better job not giving up three-point shots, because when it became clear to me that the Pacers are able to get their three off whenever they wanted in that fourth quarter, and they got them back in the game, 18-39 from the three for the Pacers. That's a recipe for success, especially if they can hit 46% of them. You know, Oklahoma City Thunder must do a better job of guarding the perimeter. Even though I think they closed out pretty well, they closed out faster than anybody else. I thought they looked good out there, but they were giving up threes left and right, and it cost them the basketball game. The free throws, I thought the Pacers missed a lot of free throws. You can't win games like this too often missing as many free throws as they did. They were 15-21 for 71%. And the Thunder only missed 3 of them, 21-24. But the 3 they missed, look at the score. Can't miss your free throws. Pacers destroyed them on the glass, 56-39. That's where they were really definitively better. Pacers just, even though I thought the Thunder were doing a better job, the 50-50 balls, and obviously the steals were crazy and the turnovers and all of that. At the end of the day, if you dominate on the glass like that, it is what it is. That can give you enough to get you back in the basketball game. And that's what we see here. 24 assists from the Pacers. They're able to get their assists off. Only 13 for the Thunder. That's a problem. That's a problem for the Thunder. Only had 13 assists, man. The Pacers just play better team ball on the offensive end. Now, 14 steals is nuts for OKC, but we expect that. 14 steals, 25 turnovers. Forcing a Pacer team into 25 turnovers is a feat in and of itself. Pacers only had 1 steal and won the game. 1 steal and 25 turnovers and won the game. This was so improbable, man. Thunder won in the points in the paint, 46-34. But Fast break points, Thunder only got them by 1, 11-10. I think the transition defense for the Indiana Pacers is something that they can really hang their hat on. The way that they defended off of them turnovers, only giving up 11 points, was very, very impressive. But I don't think they win another game in this series if they can't force more than 7 turnovers and only get 4 points in transition. That's not something that's due. You're not going to win this game many times. I'm going to tell you that right now. The way the OKC Thunder approach this basketball game, you're probably going to win most of the time. But you can't get killed on the boards if you're the Thunder. And you can't give up such clean 3-point looks versus you missing 39% from the field. A lot of missed layups on the Thunder's part. Stuff like that. Missed two shots. Yeah, that kept the Pacers hanging around. The Thunder gonna understand this Pacer team don't care, bro. There are a lot of teams that you can demoralize. You got a certain lead against a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, they wig out. They wigged out. They're not gonna be able to keep coming at you. At some point in time, they're gonna be like, okay, we're demoralized. I tap out. Let's get ready for game 2. Pacers ain't wired like that. They don't know nothing about no tap out. There's time left on the clock. We're gonna score. We're down by 50. Doesn't matter. We're gonna score. Down by 1, cool. We're definitely going to score. Like, that's how the Pacers are always going to be. It's why they've won the games they've won in these playoffs. It's why they're in the finals now. It's why they have a 1-0 lead in the finals against a team that they're significantly worse than in a lot of people's eyes. And were tonight for 47 minutes of this basketball. But you got to play 48. And OKC did not execute better than the Indiana Pacers in the last 5 minutes of this basketball game. They just didn't. The Gamecast, I'm sure, will tell us something like that. Yeah, Pacers won that quarter 35-25. You know, I felt like the Pacers were jittery in the first quarter. They were playing a little too fast. Thunder came out, bit them. Second quarter, the Thunder had a nice, comfortable lead. They were killing. Third quarter, the Pacers started showing all of us that they were starting to adapt to the speed and the intensity of the Thunder. And by the fourth quarter, the Pacers had basically figured out how to get their shots against the Thunder, what intensity they needed to impose on the Thunder. And ultimately, it just felt like the Indiana Pacers had downloaded everything they needed mentally to adjust to how the Thunder play ball. And this Indy team is relentless as any team I've probably ever seen, man. Like, mentally, they're about as relentless as any team I've ever seen. And this game kind of solidifies what we've been saying about them. They're the damn Terminator. And I do believe Indy has confidence that they can win games in this series no matter what. Because at this point, they did. This is no matter what. Turn the ball over 25 times, you should be demoralized. You're going to lose. 99% of the teams that I've watched in my life are losing a game like this, man. Only 1% of teams have the mental makeup to overcome the fullness of the circumstances Indy's going against. On the road, against a team that's significantly better than you, in the finals, down by 15 in the fourth quarter. I mean, like, they got a different type of mental makeup. And I don't know that OKC is mentally as strong as them. I walk away from game 1 saying, yo, OKC's a better basketball team, but I don't think they're tougher than the Pacers. I don't think they're as crazy as the Pacers. And what I mean by crazy is no matter what, they still think they got a chance. There's time left on the clock. They still coming. I think OKC is proving by losing by 40-something points that they're a little vulnerable at times, here and there. And maybe Indy's the wrong team to be any kind of vulnerable against. And tonight, we're going to have to ask ourselves if the OKC Thunder are not going to have some real interesting psychological concerns based on just how much of a heartbreaking game this was. What we talk about, the way you start series in these playoffs, as I said in the breakdown of this series, you can't fart around in these playoffs. The teams that tend to think they believe they're better than the team they're going against and drop game 1 in this series have often lost the series in these playoffs. And we talked about that. I don't know, man. I'm not saying I think OKC's going to lose the series. I still think Oklahoma City is a better team, and I think they proved that for 47 minutes. But there's a certain mental makeup that you have to be able to overcome in order to defeat an opponent like this. And OKC just took a real serious punch in the mouth and are playing behind in this series because of it. So I'm extremely intrigued to see what type of bounce back OKC is going to show us. And I'm also curious to see if Indiana is going to clean some things up that'll make them play better in Game 2. And if OKC drops Game 2, going back to Indiana, now we're starting to talk about the possibility of something crazy happening. I still think Oklahoma City is firmly in control of the series as it pertains to they have the better team and everybody knows that. But as I said at the end of my video, that has not kept the underdog from winning series in these playoffs. And this particular basketball game is indicative of how we've seen that so often in these playoffs this year. It's basically been the theme of the playoffs. And Indiana has been able to come back from double-digit leads all playoffs long. Against every opponent they've had to face, they have overcome a big lead. OKC is just another team they've knocked off in this fashion. I don't know if you're OKC, this doesn't affect your psyche going forward in the series. The way that you lost this game, and the way that you were dominating this game, the way that this should have been over with, you start to realize you can't slump your shoulders even when you're up by big against a team. And when you're a young team like OKC, never been here either, just like Indy hasn't, you have to wonder if this is going to start to affect their psyche. But there are some things about this game that I don't think I'll see again. A 6.6 rebound game from Chet Holmgren, I don't think we see that again. I do not think we see that again. You're going to be hard-pressed to see Chet Holmgren struggle that bad for the rest of this damn series. It's just not, I don't expect that to happen anymore. 5 threes from Obi Toppin, I don't think we see that again. But the way Andrew Nembhard played this game, the way Aaron Naismith looked out there, TJ McConnell coming off the bench, them 3 players, I think they probably outplayed the 3 that I was mentioning that needed to be better than them. Caruso, Dort, and Wallace were the 3 that I said had to go up against those 3. And whoever wins that 3-headed bench mob matchup, I think will ultimately win the game they're in. And I would say that in this game, the Pacers trio won Game 1. I had no intention of covering this series. I don't know if I'm going to cover it most games, but after a game like this, I had to come on here and say something. That was too great of a basketball game, too great of a comeback to not. Simply put, man. Tyrese Halliburton. Y'all said Tyrese Halliburton is what? The most overrated player in the league? That's what the NBA players voted on? He making y'all eat these words with every passing win, every passing comeback, game-winning shot. He's making all of these haters look crazy out here. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. Wow.